paper. Yeah, it's our time. One love. What's up? Um, yeah, I decided to do a. I didn't listen to the album review of the new Drake and Party Next Door, or should I say Party Next Door and Drake, since that's what it says here. Album that came out today. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. By the way, um, yeah, making videos about a lot of different things on this channel, different opinions. So this is kind of like a didn't listen to the album review, and what that means is I did listen to the album, but I'm being honest about the fact that in the first 24 hours, unless all you're doing is listening to that album, you can't really listen to it. And um, yeah, so like for example, I listened to it today, but I didn't hear it in the car. I heard some of it in the house, and it's a good amount of songs. It's 21 songs. You know, if it's 5 or 7 songs, you can feel more confident in saying that you listen to it. But 21 songs, come on. I still live life, you know. So paper, yeah. Okay, let's talk about it. So first thing I'll say is this about the album length. Um, since it's just a thought on the top of my mind, and that's like people say have said that Drake hasn't had like good albums, or they've been critical of some of his albums. First off, this is a collab album, which he's done a few of. I think a collab album makes it easier to like carry the load of doing that many songs. But you can see some of them are just Drake, some are Drake and Party Next Door, some of them are just Party Next Door on some of these songs. Well, let me see. I think there's at least one of them that's like Party Next Door only. So and a lot there's different collaborators, which is cool. I think that the fact that the album is so long, ends up making people think that Drake doesn't have good albums. Like, and that is something that ends up hurting his classic albums, because every one of his albums actually, when I look back, it's low key a classic, but you might need to shave off sometimes a good amount of the songs, because they might not be your cup of tea. I know some people that more like the rapping and party side of Drake, and not as much of the album cuts Drake, or the slower songs from Drake, or the all of that. Like one of my favorite Drake albums is the Honestly Nevermind House album, which when that was one that I never slept on that as soon as it came out, and I guess it's from living in Brooklyn, and there being that type of party vibe around, and also me being interested in that type of music and making that type of music. Uh, that it's like, okay, yeah, like that one I was able to really get down with. That also was a tighter album that had less songs too, and I feel like people end up rating that album higher. It's a different sound. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased to that album. I think there's a lot of. I think now that I'm talking about it, there's a lot of mismatched discourse around are Drake albums good? Not are they good, but are they classics? And to be classic, sometimes it has to have like wide mass appeal, critical acclaim, and I think because there's so much there, it's a lot for people to digest at once. And it's easier to digest the quote unquote classic if it's 12 songs, then somebody can like digest it and have a classic. And now it takes time to set aside, and now there's less time even for people to do it than there even was in 2012. Definitely than there was in 2002, and definitely than there was in 1992. You know what I'm saying? So now I know that the longer albums help for what's the word? The longer albums help better for streaming, but it's also feeding the fans. You know what I mean? And like, so that's the thing that I like about the longer albums from Drake. It's you kind of can maybe rediscover a song later. Like there's some songs on the last one, For All the Dogs, that I'm just really getting into now, that I'm more so or just getting into more now, that you know I maybe was listening to a couple songs on the album that were the main songs that I liked, and then a friend told me about a song, or I heard it somewhere, or I just like re-listened, and then I was like, oh, this is the banger. And I put other people on, and I know other people have slept on it because I will have posted it or use the song, which I rarely do for songs. You know what I mean? That's not my own music. I rarely will post and use a song, and they'd be like, "Oh, what's this song?" And now they like that song because they're like, "Yo, you're rocking to this." And it's like an unknown Drake song. But the funny thing is like with those, it's like it's such a big artist that when there are some like unknown Drake songs, it's almost harder to find those. People like, wait, what's this song? This came by this artist. Actually, I like this, and people get a kick out of liking maybe lesser known things from big artists. So I appreciate that. So and I think that is an underrated thing that's happening with the longer albums from Drake, and that's what I'm talking about for feeding the fans. So yeah, I a critique I will say is that it's an R&B album, so some of it did feel on the first listen did feel slow, but I like that. It's also I got snowy vibes on the cover, so you know wintertime, you're chilling out. It is winter. Um, Obviously Drake has plenty of upbeat music, so and there was upbeat songs on here. There are upbeat songs. There are, and yeah, you know. So the thing is the public opinion. There's a lot of. I will say that the Drake fans have been extra active, but the haters have been working overtime too. The haters have not taken time off, so we'll see. A lot of people are definitely believing the stuff about the "Heard You Like I'm Young" stuff, so that's not great. But I think that the music is still really good. Like there's really good writing on here, um, that's consistent and that's also like understandable, and I think you know people will like you know what I'm saying. So I definitely give it a I definitely give it a for a didn't listen to the album, I'll give it a very excited to check more out. Give it a very excited to check more out, and definitely something that seems like you can ride to, you know. So we'll see. Yeah, I said in my last video I was gonna maybe do a review. So let's see what we title this one. All right, paper. Yeah, I'm out.